more private gigs with clients and working on my product, but I do still try and do a few. So, I mean, probably a lot of listeners will be out at Las Vegas either for Black Hat DEF CON or besides Las Vegas. So I'll definitely be out there and, would love the chance to meet some listeners.
Yeah, okay, yeah, great. I'll definitely be looking out for you as well. A few months ago, I guess you were voted or selected as one of the most influential females in InfoSec. If you could tell me, what do you think that means for you personally and females as a whole within the realm of InfoSec?
Well, I mean, sadly, it's like to be some of the most influential women in InfoSec, you basically have to show up. There's not as many of us as I would like there to be. I mean, it's certainly improving. There are, it seems like even in my time in InfoSec, it's, a lot more people who are, doing good work in InfoSec. What I really don't like to see is people who are, call themselves women in tech or women in InfoSec or women in whatever, that where women are underrepresented, who, basically spend all their time whining about it rather than, actually, producing work of, different kinds. It doesn't necessarily have to be things like exploits or code or whatever, but I mean, even, anything but whining about your gender and how oppressed you are, please. I think, the best way to make it so that, more young women want to get into information security or technology as a whole is that, the have role models. So being the people on the stage, being the people putting out the tools, being the people doing podcasts, I think does a lot more than whining about it. So I really would like to see it get to the point where there doesn't have to be a list of InfoSec females, that it would just be, integrated with the InfoSec as a whole list. And I think, there are some women who have done, really amazing things in information security that have been around for a while, like, Katie Souris and people like that who have really done. You'd be really hard pressed to find men who have done more than people like that. So, I'd really like to see those lists just merge and see, the real front runners who are female being in the same lists we often see filled with just men, because there are examples of women in InfoSec who have really been front runners. So I think, if people just found all the really front-running people that were both male and female rather than splitting us out. So I hope to be around for the day that happens and to be on those lists, no doubt. But
right.
Regardless, I do really appreciate the honor, and it was very nice for them to call me that. So.
I definitely appreciate your perspective on that. I definitely appreciate that. So for those who are listening and they would like to get in contact with you, maybe to hopefully get a book signed, purchase your book, contact you about training, what is the best way for them to obtain the book, and what is the best way for them to also contact you if they wanted to reach out to you?
Well, for the book, they do sell it directly from No Starch at nostarch.com/pentesting, though it's also on things like Amazon, Barnes & Noble. If you are still into like hard copy books, they're usually, when I find myself in a bookstore, they have a copy or two there in the computer section, as well as if you're going to any conferences. No Starch usually does have a booth, or if No Starch doesn't, there's usually some sort of bookstore, like, at Black Hat and some of the bigger ones, like Breaking Point has the only vendor booth for books allowed, but they have the No Starch titles there as well, so you can pick it up. I am doing some signings. I haven't even talked to them about Black Hat DEF CON, but I imagine I'll sign there again. If you're not going to see me and you really want to get your book signed, if you contact me, then I can work it out that you can send it to me and I'll sign it. For contacting me, probably easiest way is email. So Georgia@bulbsecurity.com, probably the easier to spell, though Georgia@Shavira.com works as well. And I'm not on social media as much as I used to be. Basically, my mom checks it for me a lot of the time now. And there's a lot of noise, particularly on Facebook, that, I get everything that I need to answer. Whenever anybody asks me a question or anything, I do get it and I do answer it. but a lot of times I get, what is the meaning of InfoSec and stuff, and nudie pictures and stuff, and it's just like, what? So yeah, getting through some of the noise, I'm not as active. Like I don't have Twitter or Facebook on my phone anymore, so probably email is the quickest way to get to me. But I'm just my name on Twitter, Georgia Weidman, and same thing on Facebook or LinkedIn or any of those. So I mean, probably email is the easiest. But if you want to friend me on any of those sites, I will accept them, and you can, occasionally see, interesting pictures about what I'm up to, and I post about what conferences I'm doing. So, I mean, I'd certainly love to hear from anybody, and certainly love to see more people buy the book. If you teach a class in penetration testing or InfoSec at a college, or, want to start one at your hackerspace or something like that, could give you, advice about how best to use the book if you want. I'd really like to see it in those places.
Thank you. So, again, Georgia Weidman, a penetration tester, researcher, as well as an author, here with us talking today about various aspects of information security and the things that she does on a day-to-day basis. And we normally end with a question that I asked everyone that I interview is, in your opinion, what is the biggest security risk to individuals or organizations now?
All right. Well, I've got probably the rock the boat answer here, because I think that the biggest risk, honestly, a lot of times is security products. And that seems like a really strange answer from a security person. But what I see and what I feel like we really need to get away from in like people's understanding of security products is, for example, I really, really hate hearing, and I hear it a lot from people, I have antivirus on my computer, or I have antivirus on my phone. So I can download whatever skeevy looking games I want because I have antivirus. If they're bad, if they're trying to hurt me, antivirus will pick it up. I can go to whatever websites I want to and put in my credentials into them, no matter how strange they look, because my antivirus would stop this from hurting me. Which, antivirus does a lot right, but it's certainly not a panacea, and I feel like people think it is. And I think we're seeing the same thing with, say, enterprise mobility management tools. And it, even comes up to the operation level that, operations department is generally the ones who are buying those sorts of things. We're like, oh, it provides security. Now we can have whatever kinds of bring your own devices we want because we're safe, because it says malicious apps will not get into your environment, or jailbroken devices will not get into your environment. It says that, it has a data container, so any sensitive data that's in the container is safe now. So we're seeing not even on just the individual level now, but from actual practitioners who are in IT who may not be, the security person, thinking that this is now a panacea for us. But, in my research around the enterprise mobility management, a lot of the claims they make are, not too hard to get by, certainly not for an attacker who is really interested in getting your stuff. So I see that in a lot of cases that it may be this false sense of security around your security products that is the biggest problem people are facing. People who would otherwise be, I think, more diligent about their security just think, oh, we have products for that. There's an app for that, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. That's how we treat things in our society today. It's like, how do I keep track of my meetings? Oh, there's an app for that. It tells me I don't have to worry about missing meetings anymore. So now we have security problems. Oh, there's an app for that. I don't have to worry about that anymore either. Yeah. So I think we need to get away from that.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing your perspective on that. That's definitely a first for me on that particular answer, but it does have a practical perspective to it. And again, thank you for taking time out of your schedule, and continued success. And hopefully one day I could get my book signed if we're in the same space one day.
For sure. I'd love to sell your book.
All right, thank you. Again, that was Georgia Weidman. She's a pen tester, a researcher, and author of a great book. I'll have my review of the book on the SecurityOrb website. I will definitely send you a link to it and share it with the community, as well as put it on Amazon. So, so just look out for that.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So, having our interview with Georgia, as stated, lots of good information. And just hang on, and we'll be back with some more information. And thank you for everyone for listening to my interview with Georgia. Again, please remember the SecurityOrb show is located on SecurityOrb.com. That's SecurityOrb.com. And we are on Twitter and Facebook. So until the next time, be safe on the information highway.